Hello, my name is Rosanamod, and welcome to the rosanamod podcast. Want to modify your life? That is corny, but I'm going to keep it in there. This variety show brainstorms solutions for everyday challenges, unlocks your secret potential, think outside the box with creative ideas that improve your business and your life. Get inspired with special guests, get motivated with how-to projects for the whole family, and learn that life is too short for anything less than being happy. Laugh with me or at me, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to laugh. Everybody, this is Rosanamod, and welcome to the rosanamod podcast. That's how I'm going to start it. So let's just be really obnoxious because, first thing I want to do is apologize to all of my listeners for leaving you hanging for a few days. There's a lot going on right now. I am not going to share that with you today, but I promise that I shall. Just know that it's okay, and I'm okay, and everything will be okay. Today's episode is going to be about pricing your artwork. And now it's really simple. There is a formula that artists go by, and for the pricing, it starts with $1 a square inch. So now what you're going to do is you're going to measure, let's just take, for example, let's say you do a 16 by 20 canvas or paper. You're going to multiply both of those together, and the answer is 320. That 320, you're going to multiply by a minimum of $1 per square inch. Now the minimum dollar is just for, like, you can't go under that. That's just your baseline. If you want to charge more than that, you can, but you have to keep in mind, you did not add the frame. You didn't add, your supplies, your art supplies, and anything like that you used. You're going to add that on top of it. So a 16 by 20 for $1 a square inch is going to be $320, not counting everything else that you put in it. That's the total that you're going to charge for your customer. Now, there's a lot of artists that I know that charge more than $6 or $7 a square inch. That's totally up to you. That depends on how much you think, your drawing is worth. That's all on you. Me personally, I only go between $3 and $5 per square inch, and that depends a lot on the size. So if it's like a 30 by 40 canvas, then I will probably shoot for about $4 per square inch, and then I'll add if there's a frame. Usually there isn't with something that size. I will add whatever supplies I used. I'll count the colors and paints that I used. And basically that's really how I do it, including the varnish. I include that too. So you just have to figure that out. And if you do mixed media or something like that, then of course the mixed media is a little different. It doesn't go by square inch, but like for example, if you make a pillow, you're going to just take inventory of everything that you spend your money on. So that even includes the gas to the store, the fabric, the filling, the stuffing, the whatever decorations you put on it. If you painted, if you glued something on it, the glue that you used, everything you have to take into account, like you're doing an audit. Run it that way. Run it like the IRS is doing it for you. That's really the way I look at it. So you get precise, you get a really good idea, and then also, since you can't do square inches on a pillow or anything that you make, you do it by the hour. So what I do is when I'm doing mixed media, or when I'm working on, for example, the jewelry that I make. Well, I make a lot of handmade jewelry. I do a lot of vintage modifications, where the MOD comes from, the revamping and the upcycling of old vintage pieces that I take apart and I make new things out of it. So, and also upcycling. I do a lot of upcycle. When my website's done, you're going to see what I do. But you can check out my Pinterest page, rosanamod, and look in there and you can see what I'm talking about. All those pieces and things that I make on a mixed media put a $25 minimum per hour salary. That's what I pay myself, because I feel that the $25 is a fair amount. That's for usually when it's already done, like when I don't go out and buy things to fix. For example, vintage pieces that I take apart and I put back together. I don't really go out and buy a lot of supplies because the supplies that I buy are just the actual pieces that I bought. But if I'm going to work from scratch, and make something, let's say, out of clay and paint, or, something like that, where I need to go out and buy clay and paint and varnish and all that stuff, then that's different. But I'm still going to do the bottom base, $25 an hour, which is what I charge myself, which is pretty good. I think that's really cheap compared to a lot of other artists. I'll do, a couple of hours. That's $50 right there just for the one piece, and that's what I do. So I hope that helps somebody. That's an easy thing to look at. You can go online and look and put in how much do you price your artwork. And it really does depend on the kind of artwork that you have. I've noticed a lot of people out there with really beautiful pieces who are completely underselling themselves, and really take another look at the stuff that you have, because beautiful pieces shouldn't be sold cheap. This is your artwork. And not only that, but nobody else is going to do it the same way you're going to do it. This is something that is unique to you. This is your brand. This is something that no one else can really replicate. They can get close, but they won't be able to do it the same way you do it. So it's important that you put yourself out there, and you get what you pay for. If I look at artwork and I see like a canvas of something beautiful and it's like $20 or something, or $15, I'm not going to be as interested in buying it, really. I'm not going to look at it the same way than if I saw another piece that's a lot more expensive. Now, that might sound a little crazy to some people, but no, think about that. If you go to a gallery and you see canvas paintings and artwork and they're priced like $5,000, $6,000, you're going to say, wow, this is, even if it's a piece of crap and you can see that you could do it yourself, you're still looking at it in a different way. You're already now programmed to see this as something where you're going to ask yourself, I wonder who the artist is. Is it, somebody well known? It must be, because why would he charge $5,000, $6,000 for this piece of crap? But if you see the same piece for like $15 or $20 or even $100, you're going to think, okay, this is cheap. It's automatically programmed in us to recognize something that's expensive, better quality, or it's better made, or somebody that's well known has made it. So keep that in mind. I hope that helped. What I would do if you're, still going through the process of pricing and you're not really sure, and what I do is I put a pricing at $1, $3, and $5. And I'll put the sizes of paper and things that I paint and that I sketch and that I ink. For example, the smallest piece that I own is 4x4. Those are the smallest ones that I make. And then the biggest ones are 30x40. So, for now. So I write all those sizes down, and then next to the size, I multiply, like 4x4 is 16, 8x10 is 80, 9x12 is 108, 10x10 is 100, etc. And then on top, I'll put $1 per square inch. And then I'll make another column and I'll put $3 per square inch, and with the total amount of that. So it's a reference and it's a guide that's good for in case somebody calls you and wants to ask you, hey, could you do a portrait, or could you paint me a picture of a clown for a 16x20? How much would you charge me? You already know 16x20 is $320 without the frame and not counting your supplies. So you could already have that base in your mind, so it's going to be more than that. And then if you're charging $2 per square inch, that's $960 right there, right off the bat. And round it off. Don't say 960, round it off to 1,000 or round it off to 950. I tend to go lower. And if it's something that's, like I said, if it's really intricate and there's a lot of work involved and a lot of my time goes into it, like a 30x40 that I just did, which is a self-portrait, I did it, it took me about 3 weeks to do. Now, it's a 30x40, that's $1,200 minimum, not counting frames or anything. So I already know it's $1,200, but I don't charge $1 per square inch. I'm going to charge at least, $2 or $3, no less than $3 per square inch for this 30 by 40. So that right there is $6,000. I know that sounds like a lot to some people, but do 3,600 then. But it depends on what you put in it. Depends on how many paint colors you used. If it's just a black and white, or if it's just 2 colors that you used. I used a lot of colors for this. There's a lot of layers involved. There's a lot of time involved. 3 weeks. You have to take all of that into account, and do not sell yourself cheap. Don't do it. If you want respect and attention, and you want people to look at you as a serious artist, you're going to have to take the business side of it seriously, and you're going to have to value yourself if you want others to value you. Now that advice right there is good advice for anything in your life, not just artwork, and not just selling yourself, in the business world. That also is good for personal life. So I have spoken. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you all for, supporting me, and for your emails. Talk to you soon, and ciao. Okay, so oh my God. Coco's snoring so loud. I wonder if that showed up. Okay, so I forgot to turn the TV off.